Hello there, Ian Cathcart, Minister in Flemington Hallside. Glad you're here for this is our thought for the day, and well, in the last kind of fortnight or so, we've taken a wee kind of well, it's not exactly been stand-up comedy. It's maybe not even been sit-down comedy, but we've taken on just because the issues have been there. There's been issues of racism on the other side of the Atlantic. On this side of the Atlantic, we've gone all cultural on that. Which statues should get pulled down? Should they get pulled down? Should they get put back up? And then just the kind of issues with regard to divorce, because now that lockdown's beginning to open up, then people seem to have their first journey to a lawyer to find out what they can do to divorce their partner. So there's been kind of issues that aren't necessarily lending themselves to, let me tell you some pun that I heard online, because life is tough under lockdown. It'd be nice to have a smile and a joke. The thing is, when you do that, you have to ask questions. I don't necessarily imagine that I have every aspect of human knowledge on these things. You do your best, but I'd said, leave some questions. If you've got a question, don't just shout at the screen and say what a rubbish minister is. Ask questions, or tell me if you thought I was wrong. So I'm thinking it's going to be weighty stuff. I'm thinking you just kind of, I might have put my foot in it and said something. But what questions do you think have been coming my way? I thought you just wore pastel colours, but you appear to have short-sleeved shirts that are not just they're other colours. Do you have any strategy for the colour of shirt that you wear? These are the heady, weighty matters that people want to talk about. Not only that, not what I this is this was by far the worst. Ian, we have heard all these strong messages, you're dealing with big issues like racism and divorce, but we want to ask, when you gave us the opportunity to ask questions, what we want to know is, where is the doll's house? What has happened to the doll's house? I'm pouring my wee heart out here on big weighty issues and trying to do my level best to engage with the real stuff. And what do we focus on? A doll's house. Well, since you asked, take a look at this. There. See it? Are we happy now? Have we dealt with all our highly profound and significant questions about shirt colour and, as it turns out, dollhouse cover as well? Maybe we should sing a song. Maybe we could turn this into a biblical theme. Unless the Lord builds the doll's house, the builders labour in vain. I don't think it's going to catch on either. The fact is, not only has it been out of here because, as you just saw, It's been on the kitchen table for the last, well, it feels like 2 weeks. I'm sure it's not. Basically, it now transpires I'm the roofer on this project. I didn't know this when the project started. I just thought Jackie was becoming a bit overly focused on acrylic paint for some unknown reason. The point is, it now transpires she's on the walls, and I am, metaphorically speaking, on the roof. After this, it might be the doghouse, but the point is, this is what she's got. I mean, it's essentially sticky back plastic, and it's pretty naff. So basically, this roofer has complained to the Clacker Works, and as a consequence, I think we're going to have to change the finishing on this particular roof. That might mean some trouble as far as the sarking is concerned. Let's just say we're in negotiations with the client and we're going to see how things go. What's all this got to do with a 42% increase in certain legal firms with regard to inquiries for divorce? The tremendous temptation when you're a preacher or a pastor is to constantly bring up some, profound insight that just transforms people's perspective. And what I recognize is over the years, I've been in situations where me going to help a married couple in their quotes marriage, it's a bit like being, that point where it's often a teenager, sometimes they're in primary school. The point is they were in the lounge with their friends, and amidst everything else, there was a vase, and it's now in, well, who knows how many pieces. It might be 100, it might be 200. Basically, it doesn't matter, because there is no amount of glue that's going to put that back together. It's smashed, it's broken. That's when ministers often get brought into a situation way after there's any serious, realistic attempt or possibility of a marriage being saved. In other words, often I can quote as many Bible verses as I want. Everything has been destroyed, sometimes for months, sometimes even for years previously. And folks have got the mask that they've worn to church, and everything was fine. And by the time I find out things are decidedly not fine, it's way too late. So what's my wondrous piece of insight? What's my, after the better part of 30 years of married life? See, when you have to do the roof, do the roof. When you're in the situation of not really doing the thing that you first thought of. I mean, it was Jackie's doll's house, and I wasn't really into it that much. Maybe you join in because you recognize anything that gives your spouse this amount of fun, happiness, enjoyment is something that you want to ally yourself to, not necessarily because it's your must do activity, but because you really like your spouse and you really love her. And as long as you do stuff like that, then it's much more likely to be a marriage that not just builds dollhouses together, but stays together. I don't know if that's profound. All I know is my experience as a minister has been that I come into marital problems way too late. What I need to do is to help you or the person that you're trying to help in a way that means it never gets to that. Have fun together. Do stuff together that you enjoy. And if that means one is not necessarily doing what they first would wish to do on their day off, and clearly, if you're doing that, then maybe the other person goes to something that you are a bit happier with. But the main thing is you have to do stuff together that you like together. And as such, attempt to ensure that this rush to the divorce courts after lockdown isn't quite as horrendous as it seems. Go with God, because I know God goes with you.